everyone. It is REDinFamy, your master geetress, and we are here on our second episode of Hidden Code. And I have a very, very special guest, the Neil Jones, who is the creator of Aerial Night Never Yields. So, Neil, thank you so much for being on. Thank you so much for joining us. And let us know your journey into game development, like how you became a gamer and how you be like what grasped you to want to become a game developer.
Oh, dope. What's up, everybody? Thanks for inviting me. Uh, it's strange to get invited to like do interviews and stuff like this,
I know.
because I spend most of my time just like in this room, just staring at a screen, just like working on my game. But I appreciate it. Um, but to answer your question, I've been playing games for forever. My grandma was like one of the original like OGs in Detroit. She owned like some restaurants and stuff like that, and she worked at this bowling alley. And like I would just like chill there. I would literally go behind the register, just grab a handful of quarters, and go down to the arcade. They just let me do it too. No one ever stopped me. So I just grabbed a bunch of quarters and went and played a bunch of arcade games and stuff. Um, and then she ended up getting us like a Sega Genesis or something like that. She just sat there and played that with me forever. So that's how I started playing video games and stuff.
It's amazing. Grandmas are the best. Grandmas are
Yeah,
the best.
especially black grandmas.
What?
They're black grandmas. They do whatever. Like they'll make sure you are good.
You're fed, you know, make sure you're not depressed about anything, like
Well,
those are
they don't
who
call it depressed. They be like, "Why you sad?" And then if you sad, be like, "Be happy. What's wrong with you?"
facts, facts. So what got you into game development? Because even like myself, my parents got me into gaming, and ever since I seen them playing or wanting to play with me or seeing my dad play. But what got you interested to be like, yo, I want to create games?
Um, uh, it's just really weird. I never just like imagined doing anything else. Like in high school, they kept pushing me to pick something that I wanted to do. Um, and I was like, I only like video games. Really, I did other stuff like robotics and like tennis, but like for work, I didn't really gravitate towards anything. I've had a lot of different jobs. I had almost like 50 different like part-time jobs and stuff like that. But like whenever anyone asks me, what do you want to do for a living? I always just say, make video games. Like, uh, just get paid to do something like that would be amazing. And that's how I initially started searching for it. And then I went to this for-profit school. Um, one of those schools that had those commercials. Hey, let's tighten up the graphics on level 3. Um, yeah, it was definitely an entryway, a gateway, especially from some kid in Detroit who doesn't really have any other ways in. So that was kind of my journey as in how I got into game development. But outside of that school, I kind of just took it upon myself to actually learn things. Um, and that's kind of how I got to this point, which was just like online books and just kind of hacking away and learning on my own.
I think that's important because as far as especially from our backgrounds, some of us or a lot of us is like first generation college graduates, um, second generation or third, if we're fortunate enough to have a third generation of college graduates. But a lot of times, a lot of students get put into this hype that I got to go to this university, I have to go to this college or whatever, and I have to have this degree and that degree, and they never really take time to see that they can shave down the cost by even teaching themselves or going to something probably a little bit more affordable as well, but just being self-taught, even teaching yourself even in high school. A lot of kids don't really think about that, like, yeah, let me, especially nowadays, because we got YouTube University,
Yeah.
you have Udemy and all these other different platforms where you can like learn. Is that something like as like advice you give to like anyone that wants to be in game development, like to kind of
Well,
start that
yes,
journey that way?
yes, kinda. So I hate to say back then, like we're like older or too old, but like even 10, 11 years ago, the entry point into like downloading the software you need and stuff like that was very high. It was really hard to get like 3ds Max on your computer or anything like that. So people in our generation really didn't have that option to just pick it up and learn We had to literally go somewhere to learn it. I definitely tried. Like I tried to learn Photoshop, but like I, di- I it, the computer that you needed was outside the range of what I had on hand. And I didn't even have my own laptop until I was like 22, 23
Wow.
in college, and I had to use like my stipend from college to like get one. Um, but now I would say, yeah, it's definitely a lot more open. You don't necessarily need to go to a giant corporate place to learn anything. You can kind of just learn anything specific that you need online. But to get the whole skill set, that's when you kind of go take maybe a course or two to get your bearings um, in the scope of what you need to learn. As far as working on like a giant AAA game, it's always good to like kind of understand what you're getting into before you take that dive.
Dope. So, like, as far as your experience, had like were you able to work with big companies to kind of learn from them to be like, okay, this is what I want to implement in my game? Or did you go a different route and was like, you know what, I want to start these projects that I want on my own?
Well, like initially, like when I came out of school, first or second time, I just wanted to work at any or everywhere. Like anybody who would have taken me, who would have took me, I would have worked for them. But I couldn't find a job anywhere. No one wanted me. Um, I don't want to say that it was for any reason because we can definitely have those discussions. But I was at a skill level where I deserved a spot, at least somewhere, but I couldn't get one. And I tried for years to like find my way in, and like I just couldn't get like not one like solid opportunity. So that's when I kind of like took it upon myself to just do stuff myself. That was the whole. This isn't my first game. I did another game called Click that support, but it ultimately didn't get funded. But I kind of took a lot of like you know crash course learning into the whole development cycle through my failures, through things like that, and other small projects that I worked on. So I really draw from that when I go into like making stuff like my current project.
And I think that's I went through the same thing. Uh, after coming out of graduating from college, I think it was '09. Yeah, it was '09. So I
Yeah.
graduated from college at '09, and during that time was a recession, and
Hmm.
having a whole bunch of job interviews, and then had an opportunity, and all of a sudden it went away, and I just felt it very strange. And creating my own opportunity, because during that time I wanted to be a publicist. I wanted to create, what I'm saying, anything as far as publicity for any industry, but then gaming, I've been gaming since I was 3. So, like, gaming has stuck with me the whole time, and then I was very passionate in finding out, who's behind gaming, what's this and that, and I was like, I wanna do that for video games, and so, um, creating my own opportunity in doing so led me to so many things in the gaming industry as a whole, and I think that's the beauty of today is a lot of brothers and sisters nowadays see like, hold up, so this person got this over me and I have more experience than they have. And it's like, okay, so now all those closed doors, now I just gotta knock them down or just create my own. all of those doors
Yeah.
as an experience. And I think that's the beauty of today. We see that now with YouTube and Twitch and all these other mediums of people really getting their gratitude and making money on things that they probably would have never gotten an opportunity to do so. And even like yourself and getting crowdfunding. And I just think that's the beauty of it. But a lot of young kids sometimes don't see that as a possibility because they don't see them. So
Yeah.
that's why
Like,
it's dope.
even for me, like I was super ignorant when I came in the game industry. I was just like, oh, dope. I'm just gonna like just be better than everybody, and then I'm gonna get a job. It's gonna be easy. All I gotta do is try harder and like use that effort to get a job, right? But it didn't turn out like that. Like especially when you like go to GDC or any of these events for the first time, and you look around and be like, I'm the only black person in a sea of white people. This is crazy. And then you do find another black person, and you're like, "Hey, you guys like are so excited to see each other." Um, like I didn't know that's how it was. I don't think anybody kind of thinks about that. Like especially like being a gamer, coming switching over from being a gamer to a game developer. You kind of don't see that, and that's why you see a lot of those comments online saying, "Oh, I don't care who makes the games. I just want to play good games." But then, as soon as you realize it, it's like your eyes are open, and like you're not in the matrix anymore, and you kind of see things for what
Yeah.
it is.
Like, what was the tweet? I remember the tweet that you made, and I had
Oh
commented on
man,
it. The tweet you made, and I
oh
was
man.
like, "This is what we talking about right here and then." Like, for real. Sorry if I hear sword in the background. All right, that's just New York City life. So, but yeah, shed some light on the tweet because yo, I
I
was
mean,
like,
which
"See,
one? All I do is make people mad now. I don't even try to. I just be like, "Hey, this is how I'm feeling today because somebody said a certain thing to me, and I want to address it." So, I feel like if we don't say nothing, they're gonna keep doing it. So that's
mhm,
why I kind of tweet stuff out like that.
me
Uh,
too."
but basically, for the one I think you're talking about black people take like coming into the game industry and like really making it our own. um, I was basically just trying to get the point across that like more and more black people are joining the game industry, and you don't like if you don't like games being representative of more people rather than just like your basic white guy middle aged about to kill all these brown people, then you definitely not gonna like what's coming next because we coming for all of this. Like just like the NBA and NFL, as soon as you let us in, we show
Right.
you that we're better, right?
Right.
We show
Like,
you that you should have let us in from the beginning because clearly we can do this. Uh,
and what's so
because
sad is we think about other people. Like we come in, we think about people that don't even think about us. We think about always including them too. We
yep,
don't get that same energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
yep.
we already come with that energy because we know how it feel. And
Well, some
yeah,
of us do. Some of us don't, though. I be
some of
getting
us
on
don't,
black people.
because
Man,
you know
I
you
hate
do.
that. I hate that even more because, like,
You got
if
some lost
anybody should
ones.
understand, we should understand. So I hate when we do that to other people. That's why I often say stuff about the like LGBTQI community. Sorry if I got those letters mixed up. But I say that about like everybody. But at the same time, I also try to emphasize black as much as I can because they don't do it back towards us. We don't get that same kind of love.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even in that community too, it's like even the black and brown side, Hispanic. Um, like that just encompasses everything. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about black and brown. And of course you have people that don't understand, but they do. It's just I know they are they building a house? So, like, but yeah, that's something that was like when you made that tweet, I was like, yes, this is what needs to happen because as someone who's been in the industry for 10 years now, I was like, wow, I just got an anniversary on something. Like, so I've been in the
Yeah.
industry for 10 years now. I've been gaming, of course, for a long time, but going to E3, I started going to E3 in 2011 or 2012, if I'm not mistaken. And I wouldn't see too much of us, not even game developers, and I'm pretty sure a lot of there's a lot of black developers, whatever title they serve, did something on those games, but you didn't see them there. Maybe I could have seen them at GDC. I've never been to GDC, but seeing even like the content creators, there weren't a lot of content creators. Content creation wasn't like the big thing like that back then. I think it was still Justin TV. I don't think it was Twitch yet. Um, and seeing different, I could count on one hand, what I'm saying? Like one hand, a lot of times seeing the same people. And I was like, oh, okay. Back and forth, because when you see yourself, you're like, wow. And then I got to see women. Then I got, as far as black women. Because I was like, is it just me out here? Like I never felt uncomfortable just because I seen a sea of white people. I just used it as you better not forget me
Right.
because I'm the only
I
black
stand out
female.
even more now. So
Exactly. So, and then just getting to meet more of black content creators, Hispanic content creators, and developers and so forth. I'm like, okay, cool. And then as the years progress, I'm like, I got to see more and more of us. And especially with black women in gaming, a lot of times it's like a double-edged sword, because we'll get backlash even from our own, as far as like being a gamer a lot of times, and like, oh, that's for boys, growing up, stuff like that. I always would hear, compared to like other cultures embracing it more or whatever. So I got to see more of us, as far as gaming, and I'm like, dope. Like, don't hide that. Like, it's,
yeah.
show that you're a gamer, show that show that there's no stereotype to being a black woman that's a gamer as well. That's something we're still fighting now. but but yeah, I'm just like, it's just so amazing to hear. Of course, you made sure that you took the opportunity to make your own projects. What was some of the things, as far as like creating those projects, that like any roadblocks you encountered, but then you learned to overcome it for the next project? Because I know a lot of people don't understand like game development. A lot of times they just think that
Yeah.
boom, you created a game, and yeah, we get to play it and have fun, but there's a lot of like work that goes into it.
Um, yeah, like as far as roadblocks, my main roadblock was just kind of just taking it all on myself this time. Like this is like the first game that I'm just like across the slate. I've done almost everything. Like 90% of everything that's in the game, like I've done myself. Um, I did the marketing, like all of it, like outreach to publishers. I found my own publisher. I found like my own like music people, and like I put everything together myself. I did have a lot of help from my friends, like as far as roadblocks that I couldn't like overcome by myself. But this was like just kind of to prove to myself and to prove to like the industry that, look what I did with nothing. Imagine what I could have did if y'all gave me anything. Just like even the smallest amount, I could have been great. I'm gonna be great either way, but like I'm 30 now. I've been trying to like do this since I was 19. Like imagine the possibilities that could have been had, but we here now.
Exactly.
um but aside from that, I try not to be like too whatever about that. I'm just proud of the game. I'm proud of the music. Everybody's been like really supportive of it, a lot more than I was expecting. I thought I was just gonna make this little tiny game, put it on Steam myself, maybe like make the money that I put into it back, and then roll that into the next game. But it's becoming a lot bigger than I initially thought.
So what programs do you use to create your games, and what's the thought process like in game creation? Like when there's something about, okay, so we're gonna dive into like Ariel's Night. What was the thought process? Like, okay, I want to create this type of game. I want it to look like, I want this artistic style. I want this music, because the music is fire. As far as we're gonna get into the music style, the soundtrack.
Yeah.
What was it like? What's something that you would tell a younger you, like, okay, this is what you should do, and this is how you should do it?
Yeah, that's a really good question. But basically, how I go about like kind of picking an idea is like in the before times when I was working all those crappy jobs and like trying to get into the game industry, like when you're younger, you just have all these ideas coming at you. Especially as you're playing games, you'll be like, "Oh, this game would be even better if it was done this way." So I just like throughout all of those years, I have this book. I just been writing everything down. So when I finally decided to do something myself, I kind of wanted to pick something that was like. Um, Something that people were familiar with, but gave me a lot of room to make changes and put, my own style on it and make it black. So we see a lot of runners like all the time. People still making runners today, but there hasn't been a runner with like different options as far as like how to move, but with the same controls. So you switch up the controls a little bit, but give each button multiple uses. There hasn't been a runner that has cutscenes and a full story that has an actual ending that people are pushed to replay rather than just like endlessly go forever. Um, and then the style, there hasn't been like a runner that just looks like it fits on everything. So like I try to make my game so that you can play it like I'm not announcing that it's on the phone or anything like that because I'm kind of just still working on it. But I wanted to look like if I did have the capability to put it on the phone, it would look just as good as on the phone as it would on a PS4 or PS5
Got you.
with that kind of art style. And that's just my natural art style. So I never really put too much thought into it. I was just like, I'm just gonna, do what I do without having anybody over my head telling me, oh, make it like this or make it like that.
Wow. So yeah, because matter of fact, we're gonna cut to the trailer of it. And when I first seen, I forgot where I first seen. I think it was on Gematsu. I first seen the game, and I was like, "Yo, it has like a cell shade effect to it, and like a cyberpunk style, and then the hip hop influence, like the hip hop jazz sound to it, and it was just a lot." And I was like,
Yeah, it's
"Yo,
black, right? It's super black. You
word,"
look at that
you know
game,
what I'm
and you was like,
saying?
oh, like some brothers and sisters worked on that.
Word. And like the character, like his style, it's us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's us. And so tell us about the character and if you're able to share as far as like the story behind
Oh yeah, I can share whatever. It's my game. See, that's the
everything.
best part about it.
See what I'm
I
talking
can do whatever I want, right?
about?
But the character's name is Wally,
Okay.
based off of my uncle Wallace, um, who passed away a long time ago. But like he looked like black everyman, right? So he was like the perfect like catalyst for that kind of thing. Um, uh, in hindsight, people like think that it's a reference to Wally West because of the Flash, and I was
Yeah.
like, man, I,
And he's running.
right,
I was gonna
right.
ask.
I was like, man, I see it now. Dang. But but how the character looks was based off of a lot of different black media. Like the outfit that he's wearing, his jacket and his T-shirt is based off of Axel Foley.
Okay.
Because if you go back and watch those movies, like in the first movies, he's wearing a shirt that says Mumford on it. It's the high school I went to. And the story
Oh,
goes, I don't know if it's 100% true, but the story goes he came to Detroit to research that role because the cop in Beverly Hills Cop is from Detroit. He went
yeah.
to Mumford. They gave him the shirt, and he was like, "I'm gonna wear this in the movie." Um,
Wow.
and it's like the same shirt that they still wear like in their gym classes and stuff. So I was like, I'm just gonna keep putting in little aspects of Detroit and just cool little black media stuff in the game. So there's references in the game to the Green Book. There's references to like other black anime like Afro Samurai and stuff like that.
Oh,
Nothing that you would like kind of see if you wasn't looking for it. I would probably have to point each one out, but I try to just put as much little kind of hidden stuff in there that we would definitely see as I could.
something you should do like a contest. How many Easter eggs can you find of references?
I probably wouldn't even remember all of them. Like as I do art, I kind of just
You with a
like
shirt or
throw stuff
something
in
like
there. Yeah.
that would be dope. But that's amazing. So I see like the style. So that the next question, anime.
Hmm.
Because you mentioned Afro Samurai and of course and even mention other things in pop culture. But anime, does anime influence your like aspect on the artistic style of it too? Since you mentioned
Yeah,
Afro Samurai.
like my natural like art style kind of fits a little bit with Persona 5.
Okay.
Um, and then when we were originally developing the music, me and my friend Dan, who pretty much does all the music, and I just sit there and be like, "Yeah, that sounds good. Nah, I'm not feeling that." And I kind of just be that like on his shoulder, and I know he hates it, and I'm so sorry, but it's the only way we can do it because I'm terrible at like actually making the music. But we went through like a lot before we got to that first song that really fits because originally because I was trying to play with this Japanese theme, Japanese cross like black you know media slash Detroit type of thing because black people love kung fu movies and the Japanese culture. I figured I could
Japanese love our culture too. They got a whole B
they
style.
definitely do.
So it's like it's a
Yeah. So I was trying to like find a good cross between that, like with a lot of Oriental music, but it just wasn't working. And then we was just chilling, and like this like weird cowboy bebop song came on. It was like, man, we should like just like kind of do something like that, but mix it with hip hop. And then Dan just was like stayed up all night and just made this song and then played it for me in the morning, and I was like, perfect. He was like, but should we? I was like, we throwing it in just like that.
That's
Just make more of
fire.
that.
So I was
And
about
then
to
ever
say
since,
Samurai Shampoo. Like Samurai
yeah,
Shampoo has the best soundtrack hands down. And
mm,
No Habas, Fat John, Tucci, like they have that whole aspect of hip hop jazz,
yeah, but
especially inspired by Dilla. But yeah,
I
yeah.
can't wait for people to play the last level of this game because it's literally the best thing I ever made.
Oh,
And
for real?
Dan went crazy on the music. Like whatever music y'all heard for this game, y'all ain't
I
heard nothing. Because we went out our way. We got R&B singers to sing on this 7 minute track. We got rappers on this track. We got Japanese rapper. It's
so
crazy.
we need to cop the game and the like the soundtrack. You gonna have to
Yeah,
have
yeah.
that separate, like for real.
Yeah,
Put it on a
we
vinyl.
definitely we definitely working something out with this soundtrack because it's crazy.
Or get that on a vinyl. I will cop it for real. Wow. So yeah, like just hearing all those references. Okay. So a dive into Neil, right?
Yeah.
Your day to day.
Oh, day
So
to day, like
your
working
day
on.
to day. Yep.
Oh
Soon
man,
as,
like
after all the hygienic stuff, you know what I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying? All the hygiene.
Somebody
What do you do?
somebody asked me that like as an interview question, and I just sent them my schedule, and they was like, I'm not writing all this in this just because like while working on this project, I literally had three other jobs. So I'm a teacher. I worked on Jet. That got announced for the PS5 at the PlayStation event, and I'm working on another unannounced game as an art director. Um,
Busy.
yeah, like this summer's been like this whole year just been like weird. Like as soon as I put up the first trailer for this game and went to
Yes.
full development, everybody kind of hit me up and was like, "Hey, can you kind of like help us out for our stuff?" Which hey, money. So I'm I'm here for it. Um, but now I'm just like settling to finishing it up, never yield. But from a day to day thing is wake up, find some food. Normally I wake up at like 5. I wake up at 5 a.m. just to try to do some kind of workout because I'm just sitting here all day. Um,
I just got Fit
find some.
Adventure. So
Yep.
get that in. You know what I'm saying?
Find some kind of food. My morning is pretty much whatever the contract job I got. So I do that in the morning. I take a quick nap, eat something, come back and work on like Never Yield until the sun goes down. Do my calls with whoever I'm contracting with, like be it like music or a rapper or like singer or whoever's like doing something for the game. And then I kind of just like work on anything I forgot to do before I go to bed, and then I sleep for like 5 hours and then kind of start over.
Do you recommend 5 hours for? Because I'm like, yo, I'm good with 5 hours because it's like,
I don't
I,
recommend it. It's something you got to ease into.
okay,
Like I used to be like, yo, I go to sleep at like midnight and wake up at 8 every day or whatever. But then like once you first start trying to wake up at 5, you get your body used to it. Um, And then now, no matter like what time I go to sleep, I can go to sleep at 3. I'll wake up at 5. Um, so like it's something you got to ease into and you got to want it. Like, but if you don't want to like do that, then your body's not gonna let you do that.
So how do you stay focused? Because I can so much relate as far as like your day to day. Like there's several things because I do a lot by myself. How do you stay focused? Because your girl over here, your sister over
I
here,
think working
has
on so many
ADD.
things helps. Yeah, I think working on like a lot of different things helps because I can kind of switch roles
Okay.
um a lot. But when you're just staring at one thing all the time, it just becomes harder and harder to do that thing.
Mhm.
And
I think
like,
that's my
with
problem.
2020, everybody's kind of like locked inside. So it's even harder this year. In previous years, you kind of had to work on that thing because that's the only time you had to work on it. And you're trying to go out and do stuff on the weekends and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But like in 2020, like we just in front of computers all day. So it's a lot harder. I
Anime
would
you're watching now.
anime, oh shoot. I finished The Great Pretenders. That was really good anime, like on Netflix.
That's on Netflix, right?
hmm Great Pretenders is really good. Um, uh, it's this show called I Didn't Want to Get Hurt, so I put all of my XP into defense. That's like the literal title. It's like a whole sentence.
Wow.
And it's like this is a adorable anime that
Okay.
happens to be so good. It's just about this little girl who's playing this MMO, and then she just keeps throwing all her points into defense, and everybody's like, "Don't do that," and like she actually becomes like a god. It's crazy.
Wow.
Love it so much.
I want to watch that. Favorite anime of all time.
Uh, I don't know. I would probably say Sword Art. Like I know
Really?
like people hate on Sword Art so
RPG.
much.
So we need an RPG game. Since he's saying all these MMO RPG element stuff.
It's not even that. It's the fact that Sword Art has the best like first episode like of any anime that I've seen because they set up the world, they set up the consequences, they set
They
up
did.
like other characters, and like they make you want to watch the second episode so bad. You like I want to know what's about to happen. Yeah, they do drop the ball in certain spots, but
It
that
got a
first
little weird
episode,
after the first season.
yeah.
That's why I
Yeah,
was like,
it got
eh.
weird, but, like, that first episode, like, if I watch that first episode, I can watch that whole season. Um,
Okay.
but, I mean, there's so many good animes, like, everybody should just watch anime. I would just say play Persona 5.
Gotta see. Remember we was talking about the backlog situation.
You gotta
So
play Persona 5. It's like a rite of passage now.
I- so the background. Remember I was so
Oh, yeah.
everyone his he inspired me because I'm renovating my room. So he inspired me with his art in the back. I see Miles, I see Black Panther, I see some pop figures and stuff back there. So tell us about, the inspiration behind. I see some passes on the side near the window.
Oh,
Tell
yeah,
us
that's
about your office.
yeah, I go to, like, a lot of cons and stuff like that, mostly just to hang out with people, and, like, I feel bad going to a con and not buying anything from Artist Alley because artists, like, work really hard, to, like, make stuff for you all and, to make a living, so I try to buy at least one thing, and then, I can't just keep it in the closet, I feel like that's disrespectful at that point, so I try to hang up everything that I have, and I have, like, a whole other wall on the other side of here where I just like I have a whole other
Okay.
wall with all types of other art.
So how's your workstation too? Like, do you make sure
Oh
your
no,
desk is organized? You're getting
yeah, I'm just
into
a neat
working on your
person in
game.
general. So
Okay.
so yeah, there's nothing on my desk other than my mouse and keyboard, really.
So, is there anything else you want to tell us, like about your game, the projects that you're working on? Because you're a busy man. So, is there
All right.
anything else you want to tell us about Never Yield? When we can expect it? I seen 2020. 21.
Yeah, it's 2021 now.
21 is around the corner. But like so,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
and I seen it was on multiple platforms. I seen Series X, I seen PS5. I don't know if I seen Nintendo Switch. But
I'm working on everything. But I try my best never to promise anything until like it's
Gotcha.
like a solid done deal because then people will keep bugging me about it. Um, if I say I'm gonna do something, I do that shit. I don't like tell people I'm gonna do something and not do it.
You. So since I seen that you're going to support next gen, have you tapped into anything that you want on your game? Like, of course, the DualSense controller or anything that the Xbox Series X have. Is there anything that you tapped into, or are you gonna wait for your next project with that?
Nope. Like especially like this generation, they like haven't sent really anything out. My publisher uh in Germany has like control over like all the PS5 stuff. So it's just gonna be your standard play. I'm more than likely it's gonna be on PS4 too, so it's gonna be based off of those controls.
Okay, that's what's up. That's cool.
But as far as like other things to tell people, I would just say like um, the point of aerial knights never yield is not to make money or anything like that. It's to like show people, what I said earlier, what black people can do, like if given opportunities and given chances. So even with me, I don't have much of a platform, but like when going to publishers and making deals, a part of one of my deals was to make sure priority was given to black media.
Mm,
So I feel if more people took like any kind of steps that they could to, support other black people, not even just black people, people of all different groups, we could like slowly make the game industry a better place and like make it more welcoming to people because even if you're one of those people that say, I don't care about who makes my games, I just care that, the games are good, um, you would have more options if you supported, diversity in games
exactly.
and not just like what characters on screen but like the people behind the scenes because when people different make games you get games like the one I'm about to make or the
Exactly. You
one
get
I'm about to
different
put out,
perspective.
right? But everybody can like help, like not only like gamers but games media, as well as developers. I really feel like it's going to take everybody and we need to highlight more developers um, than we do. I don't want to say streamers, but like content creators or anything like that. But in general, I feel like there's more of an emphasis put on highlighting people playing the games rather than the people making them. Because if we don't highlight these people are not going to stick around in the game industry because the game industry has a really high turnaround rate of people like making one or two games and then not coming back. Um, so we want to like not only get black people into the game industry and support them, we want to highlight them and encourage them to keep doing what they do, rather than they might make a game that you don't like, and then you post a bunch of negative comments and make them feel really crappy, and then they not make any games anymore. So we all just want to keep this thing going. So we have to be a little bit nicer to each other and a little bit more open to everybody. That was a very long statement, but
That's all right. I'm just looking at like the lower third. And I spelled Ariel wrong. I was like,
it's all good. Everybody spells it wrong.
but no, what you said is true, and that's like the inspiration even behind this series, Hidden Code, is because that's one thing. Even when I'm speaking to developers, any walk of life, I always want to hear like how they got into like the mindset of wanting to create the game, what they had to go through, what did they learn from it, what's their greatest asset they believe as a game developer. And I'm going to that's a question for you too. Like what is the your greatest asset on what you do that you love as a game developer?
Oh, sorry. I don't think anybody ever asked me that. My greatest asset. I think I respect people who help me a lot more, and I'm like very. Well, at least I try to be. I try to be as loyal as I can to people because my friend Dan, he's worked on like every project that I've worked on.
Wow.
Like a lot of people came to me and said, "Hey, I like that first song. Let me do the rest of your music a lot cheaper or whatever." And I was like, "Nah, it's my boy Dan. He was with me from the start. We about to roll to the end. We gonna figure this out together." So I try, like, I mean, I don't know how stuff is going to change when, as things go on, but I think once you treat people very well and you try to kind of just stick with people, even if they're, having hard times or, I don't know, getting canceled or something like that, you just kind of try to understand them rather than just get rid of people or trade them in for, the new hotness.
That's an amazing answer. Yeah, like loyalty is something that's a lost thing in the world for sure. But that's a great answer, especially in this industry, and especially as a
But
creative.
like, see, answer like even me saying that honestly, I'm conflicted about it because you want to be loyal, but you don't want to be too loyal where they like take advantage of you. Don't get taken advantage of, and don't like stick with a crappy person. But
Oh yeah, don't compromise yourself.
right,
Don't compromise. Like loyalty is one thing, but don't compromise yourself because loyalty goes with who's giving that same energy back to you.
yeah, and
Um,
I think loyalty actually got the game industry in a lot of trouble with, especially what's going on with like Me Too in the game industry right now. Like a lot of people are too loyal to these like really crappy type of people who's doing these terrible things. Um, and I am not for that kind of loyalty. Like throw them under the bus,
That's
get rid
not
of them.
even loyalty, that's stupidity. Because it's
Yeah,
like you don't want to be stupid to yourself. You don't want to compromise yourself. You don't want to compromise any morals you have or what you believe in. Like like this is like I don't believe in the whole, especially with our people. I don't believe in the whole cancel culture, like, because we already get canceled right away anyway.
yeah,
I believe in checking. Of course, people need to be checked. So,
yeah,
so they can be checked. They can, of course, make sure that they face the consequences to their wrong actions. I believe in that. But they also need to learn. They need to learn and be rehabilitated in some type of way, repentance in some type of way, like to
yeah.
figure it out. Because it's just going to be it's going to be a cycle that runs into something else. I see a lot of people who say, okay, you believe in supporting this, so why don't you support that? You kept that energy for this one thing, but you didn't keep that energy for something else. Especially with black content creation of black creators, period, in all facets, entertainment and art. But yeah, like don't be stupid. Don't think that that runs together, loyalty and stupidity, because I've been in that situation before too.
Even like you mentioned a tweet earlier. Um, even with that, even though I'm 100% right and I stand by like 99% of my tweets, because I'm saying it for a reason. At the same time, I'm like, whenever like any of them blow up like that, I'm conflicted because even though these gamers are wrong and a lot of them are unknowingly being racist, um, it's kind of like a house. Like we all in this house together, and all we're really doing is making it worse because we're still in this house, even if we block that person or we kind of like take our win and go to the other room. At some point, that person's still there. They're still gonna think how they're thinking. They're still gonna spread information how they're spreading it. And we can't change their minds. We like the fight isn't really over um, just because you won one argument. So I go back and forth a lot with how upsetting I can be to some people with how I just kind of be really blunt about like racism in the game industry, but at the same time we can't not say anything.
We
So
have to, um, you know, like I do the same thing on Twitter as well too, on various topics, but especially when everything was happening, I seen all these companies coming out like, yeah, Black Lives Matter. I was like, but Black Lives Matter didn't matter like yesterday and last week when your whole front page is white.
Yep.
So like things like that, or in your advertisements, you don't have no black models. You don't have no black people on your roster. You don't have any black people at in your on your board. Damn near employees. You know what I'm saying? Or in any respect, any executive position of anything. So how can you talk about anything like that? And I said what I said, and that's it. Like I said what I said, and if someone feels offended of it, then that's great. I just reached you because you know it's wrong. So everything needs to be said and done at the same time. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
creating things like this, there has to be call to actions. We all can complain about whatever. I'm not surprised at any of it. It's just that I just need us to have call to actions and support
Yeah.
one another, and keep positivity within the community, and just showcase that, because we have that, we always had. It's just get lost in the motion because of what's cool,
Yeah.
or what's trending. So
Yeah. And like people really want to go like, you know, go viral sometimes. And I think it hurts us more than anything. Um, it's not really a case, but like one thing I experienced was people really not understanding something that they see like as a wrong, but was actually just a misunderstanding. So, for example, when I was talking about my game and my like trailer first went out, I appreciate that she didn't make it a big like tweet thing. But this woman DM me and said, "Hey, I hope that there's like a female main character, or at least the option of a female main character, or something of those sorts in your game." And I messaged her back, and I was just like, "Yo, this game's more about just Wally. Actually, there's only two real characters in the game, and it's like they're both male, but it's not a slight." Um, and like, she was very nice about it, but she was just saying, that's a part of the problem, that I need to like include women into this game, and like it was like the miscommunication of just not being heard, where I'm saying, hey, this is about just one character. It's just about like a character that looks like me, who's actually like based off of my uncle. And I actually did make a game about a girl, a little black girl, but it didn't get funded. I tried going that route and trying something different right now. And it was just like this back and forth with no one really hearing each other, and I tried my best to understand, but I couldn't really
that's a yeah,
understand.
that's another problem too. Yeah.
But if it was like through a tweet, I feel like it would have ended up way worse. Like,
Yeah, but you see what you're saying? Like that's what's needed, because everybody wants to. There's just like, let's take this to the side. You know what I'm saying? Like we should not be going back and forth. That's what they want us to do. Say this to the side. There's a DM, and that's dope that she did that, and y'all had some type of communication. Because we get so reactionary, like in a certain way, because of certain things that we go through every day. So it's like we're on defense all the time, and then we're also like, damn, we don't get, especially as black women, we don't really get too many black female protagonists,
yeah, you get like
and
none. Like
none. Like the
the one you
last
had got canceled.
the
Remember,
last which
the
one?
Valley? It was like the guys in the Valley or something like that.
Oh yeah. And then
The one with the dope hair. Is she?
that got canceled.
Yeah, the one was made by the Firewatch team.
That got canceled.
I don't know if it's canceled, but it definitely got like they put it on the shelf to do something else.
Wow. See?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry. I
wow.
I feel like I messed up your day.
No. But no. Uh I was like, wow, I'm not, this is what I would say to her. Is like, of course we need Neil. Now, of course, his game, Ariel's Night Never Yield, is something very personal to him. So he's representing someone that looked like him, and then also his family member, as far as his uncle. So as far as another game coming out, by you supporting this one game, he's able to listen to any type of suggestions or anything like that, and possibly make a game, or possibly help another content creator as far as a developer to make a game where there is another black female protagonist. And this is why I say, like, we have to listen. Like, it's listening, and of course us sharing stuff too, but we have to take all that in mind. Like, of course, okay, he's a black male, he made another black male as a protagonist. There's not even that many black male protagonists in games. Of course, we could count
Right.
more than females, but that's just the one thing, is just the support and then giving feedback, and not the condescending feedback, because
Yeah.
everything could be translated totally different over a couple of characters and words on a social media platform. It's not like how you and I are speaking right here, because I could tweet one thing and you're like, well, what was the tone of that? You
Right.
don't know because it's just words. So some things can sound condescending, some things can't, but that story alone is something right there that everybody could learn off of, because of course we have all these feelings and things, and then okay, we see somebody that look like us and they're like, damn, why didn't you make the black girl? You know what I'm saying? But it's
Right.
like, well, he want to make someone that look like him. It's just like the game Kenna was made by two black developers, and that was like the first question in my head. I was like, y'all getting all, this is y'all game that's getting funded and getting some recognition by PlayStation. I'm like, this was an opportunity, but I don't know what's their next opportunity. I'm not gonna
Right.
blast them for it because I don't know what's their next opportunity, or what they actually want to make next. So it's a question I'm very much gonna ask them when I get to more here. Um, but it's not to be like, yo, why didn't you make? Come on, it's
Yeah.
like I want to
It,
know why didn't you? And maybe you have a substantial answer. And if you don't, I'm going to ask, well, are you going to make one? So, it's just experience and trial and error, and how we can just help each other because maybe someone else is better at doing it.
yeah. And there's a lot of layers to it because I feel like there's a lot of weird divisions now, not only between like men and women, but in the gaming space. Um, I feel like there's a giant division between developers. There's between developers, streamers, and those streamers and the gamers themselves. Like we are all in our like separate camps. Where if a gamer asks like a developer a question in like a like condescending tone or whatever, you don't get a condescending reply, but they'll talk differently to a streamer, and like there's different understandings and we don't all really kind of understand each other. I think devs and streamers understand gamers, but gamers don't really understand either one of us, and we don't understand each other. So like this is just a lot of layers that go into like even talking to each other on Twitter, which I think we definitely need to figure out, like just how to communicate, because Twitter's not helping us. They're not helping us at all.
I think like lives and stuff like that, periscopes will help because then you can. So I don't know, because yeah, Twitter alone is not going to help. I know two people that's been squabbling on Twitter about the whole cyberpunk thing, and I was like, you both are not wrong. See what I'm saying? You both are not wrong, but one is doing their job, and you're doing your job as a fan. But it's just the way it goes about. Just should have been like in a DM. But yeah,
Yeah, even
everybody has their feelings.
yeah, even more recently, the whole Harry Potter thing. Like, I am definitely in the camp that I'm playing that game. Like,
I'm playing
but
that game as
I could
well.
play that game without supporting,
The
that
narrative of the
yeah
person who created the
that
game.
woman.
I mean, created the
Um,
story.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
So
why
yeah,
people don't know how to separate that. Like, okay, this
I
person created this world. A game was made off of this world. That doesn't mean I'm supporting whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a separation until it gets OD. So like okay, they putting this into their art, or they're
yeah
putting this into something. But if it's not playing out there, I was okay. Well, where was that same energy? See, this is what I'm saying. It's that same energy with Hermione as far as how she was. If I'm pronouncing the name right, because
yeah
I mess up on people's names and characters' names too, especially if it's foreign or anything like that. But where was that same energy with Hermione as far as when you read the book and the way that she is personified? She's personified as a black little girl. You know what I'm saying? But where was that energy when we see Hermione all over the screens as far as silver screen and plays and all? Y'all didn't complain on that.
Yep.
So why didn't y'all complain? And I'm talking about the a lot of black uh fans and content creators and influencers, they've been going off. And I'm like, okay, so where was that? And like, and y'all can still bring it up. Where was that
Yeah.
energy? So it's
But
like, come on.
it's still way different because I saw some people comparing it to the Bill Cosby thing, and I'm like, no, that he like first of all, like there's a lot of other people in there other than Bill Cosby,
Oh,
but that was like
same
his
thing.
face, you, like by supporting that, you can feel like you're directly supporting him. It's not like the creator was the main character in the movies.
Yeah, like it's not the same. We not even, it's not the same thing, y'all. Like
Yep.
it's one thing that you can play the game. If you don't want to play the game, that's fine. But do not demonize other people because they want to play the game. That's what I'm like, yo, this is not how it's supposed to go. If you have a strong stance and you don't want to play that game, that's fine. That's what you believe in. That's what you stand for. Why am I getting ostracized if I will play the game? Like I love Harry Potter. Like so, of course, I'm gonna want to play that game. I shouldn't be ostracized of playing that game, but like I said, keep the same energy with all things, um, as well. So, but yeah, there's a lot of topics. There's a lot of things. I'm just saying for all of us to definitely be supportive of one another, to definitely, like you said, to highlight. I love that you made sure your publishers is going to reach out to a lot of black media, black content creators, because I do see a lot of people who have a great platform, but I don't get to see, you know, games, black developer games on their platforms, So if they're ignorant to the fact, and not ignorant in a negative way, just ignorant in the actual definition of it, the ignorance, just not knowing, this is how you create that streamline of communication. Like, yo, I'm reaching out to you. I see you're a really dope content creator. You're a brother and a sister. You know what I'm saying? This is my game. You know what I'm saying? This is this, are you interested in this? So yeah, I love what this series is shaping up to, as far as getting us out there, getting the word out there that we do exist as game developers, programmers, designers, voice actors, you name it. um but yeah, is there anything else you want to leave us with? Any
No, this is
gems?
dope. We gotta and after all this stuff is over, all the craziness, we gotta do like a panel or something like that and
We
get
gotta
everybody
do a
together.
panel. We gotta meet up. We gotta do some fun stuff. When this
Right?
game come out, gotta have you on the stream, please,
Oh yeah,
as
you
well.
got it. As soon as this game come out, I'm not working on nothing. I'm taking a long break. I'll sit here and like talk to everybody though.
Yes. So everyone, please make sure you check out Neil Jones. Everything as far as website, to the game. You have your own website too. I'm going to put that
Yep.
all in the description below. Also, he has his own Discord, so you'll be able to chop it up with him, ask him questions on there as well. If I missed any questions, hopefully, I'm sorry. You might be getting, but we need more people in the Discord. So, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
So
I just sit there and talk to everybody.
see. So thanks everyone for tuning in. This is another episode of Hidden Code presented by Geek Game Tight and your host, REDinFamy, your master geetress. And we are out.
It's a simple reaction when you see what you want. Just keep yourself in motion, don't ever let up. Keep your eye on it, this is your moment. Every step forward makes you even strong. It's all about that persistence when you do what you love. Don't be scared of resistance, just keep your head